Welcome everyone. So recently I've been putting out quite a lot of Corvette content, and the reason is that people really like Corvette content. And I want to talk specifically about the power plant in the Corvette because it's not just used for Corvettes these days. People take the LS engines and they put them in pretty much anything. In fact, when I blew up my S2000, many people were suggesting that I swap in an LS1 engine. And that was a great suggestion because that engine would be great in that car. But I decided just to swap in an original engine to keep the S2000 legal for driving on California streets. But let's talk about my approach to building the LS series engine. Now this approach is pretty much the same for any project I do, but I just want to go over it so that you come up with a project that is exactly what you want. And so the first thing that I'll do is research, then I will plan out my build, then I will budget for my build, then I will actually build it, and then I will enjoy it. So those are 5 steps there. That's research, plan, budget, build, enjoy. And when you approach a build this way, you will come out very happy because you won't run out of money and you'll reach the goal that you wanted from the start. And so let's start with research. Before I knew how to work on the Corvette engine, I picked up a book and I learned how to take the engine apart and I learned how to put it back together. And these books also give you examples of different builds with different cylinder heads and different camshafts. And the problem here is that the books are a little bit out of date. And so to get the most up-to-date information, you need to go to the forums. And you can talk to some respected forum members, share with them what you're trying to do with your car. Do you want to buy an off-the-shelf cam, or do you want to buy one from one of these guys who can custom spec you a cam? As you go on and on, you can learn you can spend all sorts of money. Recently, I had a LS7 build that I was taking out for high-speed runs and roll races, and that was a maximum effort LS7. That was a high compression engine with a Stage 4 Cunningham Motorsports camshaft. Now the problem with that camshaft is that many people will find that it's undrivable. On Cunningham's website, he says that this is a camshaft for track dedicated cars. I still drove that car on the street and the drivability was fine for me, but some people would not be happy with that camshaft. And that's part of your research. Find out if you can find a friend with the camshaft that you're thinking about and go out and test drive the car, because that will make a big difference in your decision. Some people just can't stand those big camshafts. The thing about those big camshafts is they're a ton of fun when you get up into the high RPM range. They really pull, and it's like nothing else. And so that's something to think about. So again, after your research is done, then you plan out your build. You say, okay, I want to go ahead and do a Stage 4 cam with a high compression engine and run E85 or whatever you want to do. The next step is to see if you have the budget for it. And so with this C5Z06, when I was doing this engine, you notice that I kept the original cam and I just changed out the valve springs. These are the original valve springs, the yellow valve springs. I swapped it out for the blue updated valve springs, and I'll change them out as I put more track time on this car. But the point with this car is I want to keep it reliable and I want to keep it cheap to run on the racetrack. So I'm not going to do a crazy engine build with this car. And what I recommend at this step is decide whether you're going to do the work yourself or if you're going to pay someone to do it. Doing the work yourself is not terribly difficult if you're comfortable working on cars. In fact, you'll find the Corvette engines are easier than most other engines out there. These are some of the easiest engines to work on. And when I put up that valve spring video about swapping out my valve springs, a lot of people were excited over how easy it was to swap out the valve springs. And so consider doing it yourself. It's really not that bad. The one part that I do not do myself is the tuning. I will take it to a tuner, and of course I'll budget for that. When you are budgeting for your build, it's good to call up a bunch of different shops. So call up the different shops and get quotes. You already have your plan together, you already did your research, so you just say, this is what I want, how much is it going to cost me? They'll give you a quote, and then you can weigh it against the different shops. You say, okay, Cunningham Motorsports is going to charge me $4,000, American Heritage Performance is going to charge me $3,500, whatever. I don't know what the quotes are, but you weigh the quotes together and decide which shop is going to be best for you. There's a ton of good Corvette shops out there. After you get the budgeting together, you got everything planned out, you drop your car off at the shop and they build it, or you do it in your garage and you build it and get it tuned and you're done, and then you go out and you enjoy it. And that's basically it. And so the reason that you follow these steps is that I've seen some people go ahead and install the Stage 4 cam, and they find that the car is totally undrivable and they hate it, and they just wasted thousands of dollars on a camshaft install and they regret it. And so very important for you, if you are thinking about getting a large camshaft in a car that you daily drive, it's very important that you go out and find someone with a similar camshaft so you can test it out and see if you'll be happy with the car. That's my approach to it, and that's my way of answering all the questions I get about why I'm building my Corvettes different ways. It's because every Corvette that comes into this YouTube channel is going to be used for a different purpose. So that is all I have for you. Thank you for watching. Make sure that you enjoy your car.